Oh, hey Aquarius. Happy September. I'm your Cosmic Auntie, the interstellar storyteller, and yes, this is going to be your monthly reading. I am recording it in September, but it could honestly find you at any time and hopefully will be useful to you. Tarot timing works in its own cool way, so please stay if you feel called to. I'm excited to dive into the energy and see what kind of snapshot we can reflect and discuss. And yeah, like I said, I hope that this reading comes alongside you in what you are experiencing and assists you in gaining greater clarity. I always like to say tarot never is supposed to tell you something you don't already know, and that's something that many tarot readers say. We like to remind you that tarot is a tool. It is a tool of reflection, introspection, and learning. So please don't make anything fit. When a message resonates, you'll just know, right, Aquarius? And when it doesn't, you'll just know. Always tap into your inner knowledge, your inner guidance, your own intuition. You know yourself best, okay? So let's jump in and see what we can chat about today, because I feel like it's going to be triumphant, because the image that I received for you, Aquarius, while I was tuning the cards and getting ready for this reading was a blue rosette ribbon with gold writing on it. And that is kind of like a universal symbol of like first place, a first place ribbon. That one that has like the and it's like a big rosette and has those two ribbons coming off of it, and that's what I saw. So I'm excited to feel into this. Let's do it. I'm going to introduce the decks as well. This is the Lightworker Oracle. I'll be using this at the end. And then this deck is a really cool, interesting deck that I haven't used in any readings yet on the YouTube channel, but it's called the Tarot of Light and Shadow. It's an awesome deck. I love working with this deck because it's two full 78 card tarot decks that reflect the internal processes and the external processes. So there's a light tarot and then there's a shadow tarot. So I'll interchange those two, the light with the external and the shadow with the internal. So I will be interchanging those two, that language. So let's jump in and see what's coming up for Aquarius and their blue ribbon, their first place ribbon. Aquarius. You know, when you win first place, there's a significant amount of effort that goes into the preparation of whatever you are competing for or leveling up to, or, you know, achieving in any way. There's it's a really great energy when it comes to, I feel like Spirit really showing me that your hard work is paying off, that you're, you know, being recognized for your effort. So we've got the Knight of Cups. I'll show them to you as you come out. So this is from the Shadow deck. Oh, and we've got the Cosmic Mirror. That's always super fun in this deck. That's different. So it's from the internal like Shadow deck. Then we've got the Queen of Cups here. The Two of Coins, or the Two of Serpents in this deck. The Serpents is the Pentacles. We have the Six of Swords, all from the internal energy process of the Shadow deck. Interesting, Aquarius. And then we have your energy right at the center of the reading, the Star, from the Shadow deck, the internal. And then we've got the Knight of Swords, another expression of your energy, a card that you lend your energy to. So this is from the light deck. So this is going here. Then we've got the Hierophant. And then the Wheel of Fortune. This is in your strengths. And then we have Temperance as your advice. Wow, Aquarius. So huge internal shifts taking place that have taken place. Yeah, powerful energy. I'm going to take a second here to take it all in. Okay, I'll also introduce the spaces. So we've got the cosmic mirror that I showed you first is in the subconscious energy. The Queen of Cups is your conscious energy. The Two of Serpents is in your heart space. The Six of Swords is in your past energy. The Stars is in the present, and then the Knight of Swords is in the future. The Hierophant is in the blockages. The Wheel is in the strengths, and the Temperance card is in your advice, with the Knight of Cups as your inner child position. I feel like there has been so much that has been tossed behind you that does not emotionally serve you anymore. There's a shift in your mental space where there's more room to really focus on what is meaningful to you, what it is that you want, what it is that you've, and wanted, and it's right here. You're creating it every day. It's really cool energy because it feels so deep, so deep, so transformational, like in a really profound way. There's like so much I sense has been addressed and cleared inside to what was internally poisoning you. And again, yeah, tossing it behind you. I'm taking that motion from this Knight of Cups, tossing that cup behind them and riding in a different direction. So I sense your inner child being very, very important to leading you to those places that are being released. And with the conscious position with the Queen of Cups, I am getting the language of poison that I'm using from this image here. And the Queen, like, they look like they're fully aware of, what's in that cup, and they look determined to release it in this spread. Like, and also an awareness of the depth of shadow, because when shadow work is being done, there's some spooky things that we come up against, and I sense that in your energy, that there's been almost an awareness of your spookiness, and I mean that in a way of like how you can maybe talk yourself out of things or doubt yourself, where there's other people's voices in your psyche that are influencing your emotional awareness of yourself. These things, what you should be doing, what you should be feeling, all of these kind of things is what I am kind of putting into the term spookiness. We have dark and light energy, right? And when I say dark energy, I do not mean evil or bad energy. I mean internal energy. I sense there's been so much like awareness of your internal self and what has been limiting you from the internal, and taking your time to address those spaces that are coming up for you and really reflecting on what they are showing you and bouncing them off what you're visualizing for yourself and what you're wanting, how you're wanting to feel, and the direction in which you're wanting to go and turning towards, right? You know, when you it's very interesting, deep energy, and I sense that Spirit is really placing a first place ribbon on you, and I hope you feel that in yourself, because there's a lot that yeah, you have put behind you. There's a huge shift in your energy, a huge shift in cosmic energy, and I sense that there's a location of yourself. You've really located yourself within the collective and have deepened your awareness of your voice, your perspective, your intuition, and finding your footing within this flux, this constant flux. The wheel of fortune is in your strengths. So I sense that I saw a surfer on a wave, right? It's like, okay, you're gonna ride this wave that's coming in. Take this opportunity to, ride this wave of change. And what does that look like for you? And, you know, co-creating with the universe in regards to what you want and what you don't want, moving forward as the unfolding moment takes place. You know what I mean? I hope that this is making sense, because it's just, I keep wanting to say transformational. It's super transformational energy, Aquarius. There's a lot that I sense about how to make more room for what it is that you want to, what you want to create, what you want to feel, what you want to do. There's a balancing in your heart. It's almost like a breath that's being held. Excuse me. It's like a breath being held. Because when you work with the wheel and you find, you know, there's so much you can do, and then there's a kind of giving to God, right? A giving to the universe, fully trusting in the effort that you've taken, fully trusting in your effort, your healing, and your shadow work that you've done. Because I can tell those of you who resonate with this message have really dug deep into what has been internally and emotionally like poisoning you and causing you harm, and dealing with that accordingly. And that's going to look differently for each and every one of you, okay? And it's going to look differently on multiple levels for each and every one of you. The energy is really moving into a place of a fresh start, a fresh beginning, a fresh, sorry, I keep getting like a tickly throat. I'm sorry, Aquarius, but a fresh beginning where there's a connection with truth, a clarity of mind, and a direction to further continue being in the star energy, being in your energy. Where the, internal is being reflected in the external, and the external is being reflected in the internal. There's something that needed to be balanced out. And the holding of the breath is that moment I sense you just having to relinquish a surrender, knowing that you've done everything that you can at this time to do the healing that you've been aware that you've needed to do, like that you've become aware that you needed to do. It's like you're moving on to something totally new and fresh. And yeah, putting certain things that, like putting those emotionally poisonous things behind you. Again, your inner child is assisting you with those places. What cups needs to be spilt and overturned, tossed over, right? How have you become friends with the more challenging parts of yourself during this process? This process of, I just heard like, and saw the word dis-ease, you know, D-I-S and then a dash ease, like where you've been uneasy, where it has been, where you've been drained and challenged and all of these things. Also, the places that I heard them are what you've deemed like unlovable, and have been learning how to love yourself in those places. And that's, again, going to look differently for each and every one of you. But what I'm really talking about is those places where you're insecure, where you have imposter syndrome, where you are not trusting your emotions. And these are all things that I sense, Aquarius, you've really made friends with in a new way, in a deeper way, rather, because it's always an unfolding process. It's making a relationship with yourself and with the ever-evolving tale of healing. And there's a new realm to the awareness of yourself that I feel here. And I sense this cosmic mirror is like the cosmic blue ribbon being placed on your, you know, on your chest. And I hope you feel that. There's a sense of reward here. With Temperance as your advice, I sense that Spirit is encouraging you again that it's one step at a time, and kind of alchemizing your elixir. And I just saw like a well-oiled engine running really smooth. All the liquid and all the fluids are, turning over and are golden, are clear. The engine is humming. And that takes tinkering, that takes an awareness. Mechanics can be very much alchemists too. We all can be alchemists in everything that we're doing. So keep taking interest with yourself and how your energy is flowing, and tuning in with what you need, and then providing yourself with what you need, whether that be space or connection or exercise or food or like anything. Like, it literally is kind of what the energy is showing me, is that it's almost like you're becoming your own best friend in a deeper way. Because Aquarius, you are so giving. You're a very humanitarian sign. You're very you can honestly be a bit self-sacrificing, and for the greater good, right? You're thinking about the greater good. You're thinking about the collective. Oftentimes, this archetype influences that way, which is beautiful. But with Aquarius, they're the water bearer, right? You're the water bearer. That's their symbol. Here you are. And they're often pouring, right, water into the collective. So there's a sense of emotional, intuitive, water medicine being poured into the collective, and that's something that you do to assist. You're very, again, humanitarian, so you give a lot of emotional energy to the collective. But the thing with Aquarius, right, is like, I think we had a reading almost a year or almost two, is that you're not isolated. Like, there can be an isolation from the liquid because you're holding the vessel. And so what I find interesting about this card is that they're holding both of the vessels close to their chest and they're hugging them. You can't pour from an empty cup, Aquarius. That's something that we used to say a lot in the social work world. You cannot pour from an empty cup. There has to be, you know, a refilling in order to pour. And the management of the vessel is up to you. And this is what I really sense. There's a new level being reached when it comes to your magic, your energy, and how you pour your vessel and what is needed in order to recharge that vessel, and also the spaces in which your vessel is being respected, the energy that you give, the person that you are, you know what I mean? It's like there's so much that I sense is clear. Like I just heard the song. It's like, you know, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. And there's a confidence with that. And I feel that in your energy too. There's a confidence in your ability to navigate the obstacles that will come up. Like life has a way of doing that. But again, the river always finds a way around. The river always finds a way to flow, right? And energy and emotional energy is like that too. And sometimes the river needs help too. Sometimes it gets dammed up, sometimes it gets blocked up, and needs to be cleared or assisted in the way that it's flowing and becoming innovative with the way around these things, right? So again, I came back to this engine image. I just saw a whole bunch of dirty oil in a pan to the side. Again, back to these like moments here. Getting rid of fluid that is not conducive to the maintenance and the flow of your engine. It's like you can smell the shift in the air, the cosmic shift, and that's where I'm getting the Wheel of Fortune and your strengths. You're very attuned to that, right? You are the rim of the ozone, the rim of Earth, and space is on the other side. Space and then Earth. You rule that area. So you have an innate sense of cosmic shifts. And the universe is constantly in flow. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is. So trust in your voice, okay? Because I really sense that there's a trust here, but it's like there's still little things that come up that are being tossed away because there's a draining of the old fluids and then a refluid happening. I keep coming back to this engine. But in your blockages is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant reminds us that, you know, each and every one of us is a conduit of cosmic energy. And that each and every one of us has teachings for the collective. You have so much that the world and the collective needs, just being yourself. And it almost seems like too simple, but it's actually not. It's hard to sometimes it's hard to remember that you're just enough, you know, as you are, and that there's an unfolding narrative that each and every one of us has, and throughout that, you know, each and every one of us finds our voice, and I sense you really recognizing your internal voice more, trusting your internal voice more, and you do have medicine, magic, teachings to gift the world. And I, you know, coming back to that cosmic sense, that sense is what's like guiding this shift. And it's probably happened in like deep private moments within yourself, that something doesn't feel right anymore, or something has grown out of its pot, or you've grown out of a mold, or you've reached a goal and there's a whole new beginning starting. There's things that you're letting go of emotionally, and have let go of emotionally and moved away from. There's things that you've moved on from, Aquarius. And what you're moving on to is fulfilling and embodying your own energy more, and living in a way of ease, creating ease for yourself within dis-ease. And through that process, your truth and clarity and new ideas in regards to your peace are at play here. And the universe is giving you a blue first place ribbon, and I hope you feel it. Remember, you are a conduit of cosmic energy. You are the creator of your experience. You are creator experiencing itself. So life really is what you make it. And you have teachings and medicine that the world needs by further surrendering into your authentic self, your natural self, okay? And maybe some of you will benefit from you know, either revisiting or creating practices and rituals that, you know, that help with that devotion with life, and that devotion to yourself, and that you are life experiencing itself, creator experiencing itself, and feeling that groundedness here on earth, as well as that expansiveness of the cosmos, and the power to maneuver energy right here in the moment. Okay, it's important to level up in your capacities as a healer, as a teacher, and we're all healers and teachers in our own way. Okay, just keep letting that out. Keep letting that out. Keep, you know, discovering it for yourself, uncovering it for yourself, and stepping in, you know, your own authentic truth more and more. Proud of you for refilling your cup and really finding ways to make more room in your life for the things that you want, that you feel good doing, that you feel more balanced at, and that's going to further assist you in the growth that you are achieving, the growth that you are desiring, the growth that you've already achieved. It's so interesting, because it's like it keeps going back and forth on this like timeline, back to the now, into the future, into the past, and that's kind of what life is. Like, I did a reading for the full new moon in Virgo, and it's like, what is shedding, what is being, and what is becoming. And that just seems, I've reflected on that a lot this month so far, you know, because that just seems like a function of life, of shedding, of being, and becoming. And you've cried out for change and received downloads, and have put your, you know, rolled your sleeves up, and you've done some deep shadow work, and have co-created with the universe. And there's a whole new realm at play here, where you can shine in your authenticity, feel more like you, feel more at ease. And you've been a warrior and championed through dis-ease and drained it, released it, re-amalgamated it into, you know, shown love to it, become your own friend, radically learn to love yourself in a deeper way, and recognize your power in the physical, that life is what you make it, and also that, you know, there's systems at play that cause obstacles, and that in that, saying that, you are not alone, okay? And when you reach these obstacles, because they're there, life is full of them, you're supported, you're safe, you are loved, you're protected, okay? Keep tuning into yourself, seeing how your engine's running. I love you very much. Let's do some oracle and see what's coming up for you. What's coming up for Aquarius? We've got the pink rose of Lady Nada. That also feels very much like a gift to you, a rose to you, Aquarius, for all the things that you have faced within yourself, all the things that you have transmuted, transformed, and it's exciting. Let's see. So 29. All right. You are in the midst of a heart healing. A healing of the fears and anxieties that have held you back from enjoying your full magnificence. Lady Nada is here with all her gentle power, washing you in soft pink light. All anger, fear, sadness, bitterness, disappointment, and hurt are soothed and loved into peace. She brings you a sign of your future blossoming into deeper love. Yes, Aquarius, that's a perfect way to conclude this reading. Thank you so much, Spirit. All anger, fear, sadness, bitterness, and disappointment, hurt are soothed and loved into peace. So yeah, there's things tossed behind you. There's things loved into peace. You learn to embrace. There's a learning to embrace the challenging places within yourself, the things that you may have turned away from. And there's growth in that, awareness in that, and healing in that. So you are in the midst of a heart healing, a healing of the fears and anxieties that have held you back from enjoying your full magnificence. We'll know more, right, Aquarius? There's a certain, like, feeling fed up with that, not wanting to minimize yourself anymore, but to shine in your truth and your magnificence. Totally. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I love you very much, and I will see you next month, okay?